Hey guys, so we are just a few days away from the start of the 7th anniversary, and before we go into any major celebration, I do like to do almost like an account update video showing my account and sort of like what point in the lifespan of my account that I'm in, I guess is what we could say. I guess the best way to really look at this is like by Z level, right? Top left of the screen, you have my Z level. That's kind of like the account level. Kind of dictates how long you've been playing the game, how many missions you've completed, things like that. So that is continuing to go up. We are Z level 760. We have all of the story completed, all the missions completed up until this point. I think the way I typically like to start these videos is by going through my character box. So we can go ahead and do that here. Go into the this is the team I was using for the story. Let's go to the character list. Sorry, this is actually the first time I'm doing one of these videos after the big update, and I'm still not 100% familiar with the new layouts for the menus and things like that. So it'll take me a little bit to get through this, I think, but this video is probably going to be like 20 minutes, something like that, usually how it ends up. We do have, what is this power level? Just a shade under 900,000, or 900 million, sorry, 900 million power level. I could boost that up quite a bit if I wanted to with the arts boosting, but again, I am very conservative when it comes to arts boost materials, especially right before an anniversary starts. I don't want to be, you know, just like willy-nilly tossing a bunch of arts boost material on tons of characters that probably not going to end up using too much. I want to make sure I'm going into the anniversary where we're going to get a lot of new characters with as much arts boost material as I can so that I can just fully arts boost everyone up right away. But yeah, this is the box here. I guess we can go ahead and sort by limit break. That will show that absolutely everything is maxed out. So the only character, of course, not to be at 14 stars is Shallot, which, I mean, he's a character you can't get to 14 stars. This is the max amount of stars you could have on him right now, which is 8. Hopefully at some point here soon they do start giving us some more ways to upgrade Shallot, whether it's through stars, new transformation, new mechanics, new system with Shallot, something like that. Just because him being the face of the game and not being touched for so long is kind of strange, I think. Almost 2 years, right, since he got Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue was... that was like right before the 5th anniversary. Yeah, it's been 2 years since Shallot's gotten blue, and he's not gotten a new transformation since, and there really haven't been any major updates to Shallot since then. So yeah, everything absolutely maxed out. I like to have my box sorted by power level, so let's go ahead and put it back there. The other thing I like to show when I do these videos is the equipment collection. Let me actually just go ahead and sort of get rid of some of these junk equips that I got from... yeah, I'm also maxed out on Zenny, so this is kind of going to waste, but as you can see, we have actually the full base equipment space maxed out, 850 equips, and then we, on top of that, have an additional 567 equipment slots used from the Legends Pass. So we are kind of slowly approaching the territory where we're going to have to start hoping for some new equipment slots soon, otherwise I'm going to run out of slots, and the game becomes very unfun once you are down to like 10 or 20 equipment slots. Again, we're still quite a bit away from that, but I would say within the next like 6 months, we're going to be pretty close to needing like pretty desperately some more equipment slots. So hopefully over the course of the anniversary, they give us new slots through the currency. Maybe they add some stuff to the shop, which I wouldn't mind buying, but some way to get more slots, because there currently is actually 0 ways of getting more slots. Out of all of these equips, so if we just sort by, I usually have an order received. If we sort by rank, I do have a few equips that are not God rank, that are like Tournament of Power, and then some other like trash ones that I just never upgraded. Some of these have negative stats on them. So you can see like this Trunks equip, for example, all 3 slots are red slots, but the middle slot, because it has a negative stat, it is extremely hard, if not impossible, to get a godly rank on this equipment because it factors in the negative stats in the second slot. I'm keeping it anyway. I probably eventually will remove it from my box because it just kind of takes up space. But so, I mean, in total, I mean, how much is this? 850 plus 567. That's about 1437. 1437 equips I have in total. I mean, we're looking at about 1400 God rank equips in my equipment inventory, which is probably, I would actually, if you ask me, I would consider this to be more impressive than the character box. A lot more grinding and time spent over the course of my entire, I guess, Legends career, if you want to call it that, has been spent on equipment than actually getting characters. Getting characters is kind of just summoning and grinding free units and, you know, soul boosting, which doesn't exist anymore, arts boosting. But the equipment is just, you know, grinding equips up, leveling them up, re-rolling slots, getting resources. It's a lot more time intensive to get these equips. So I do consider this to be probably the most impressive part of my account. Just all of these God rank equips, all of the awakened equips, all of the unique equips, especially with the co-op equips recently that they've been putting out. Co-op equipment is just for some reason extremely annoying to re-roll. The rates on each individual slot is so low. It takes thousands and thousands of slot removers to get all those slots to a decent roll. I think actually if I was gonna like look at my box and I guess like tout a part of this, it probably would actually be the Tournament of Power gold equips. In order to get all these gold equips to God rank, and then I have some down here at the bottom which aren't God rank because they can only, the highest they can be is A. They can't be anything higher than A's, even with full red slots on all these. To get all red slots on all of those Tournament of Power equips, also, by the way, they're also guild versus guild equips. You can use it in that mode as well. This took me, and I did this starting from the beginning of Legends Fest 2024, and basically through that entire celebration, so like that 2-ish month gap, that span of time. I probably want to say I spent close to 10,000 slot removers just doing rerolls on these Tournament of Power equips. So it's really, really, really reroll intensive, and the main reason why is because you can't guaranteed upgrade these equips for whatever reason. So that is my equipment collection. Again, I like to have it by order received just because that's the way I've had it for forever, and I can navigate quickly because of that. In terms of everything else, I guess we can just go through the item list here. The newest thing that they've added to the game are the new kinds of souls. I do have all of those maxed out. Actually, what I ended up doing is, technically I could have just traded a lot of my older souls that no longer have a function into these newer souls, but what I've opted to do, because we're about to head into the anniversary, and I had a lot of spare energy from the exchange shops in my gift box anyway, is I just ran each soul stage a lot. I just ended up running each soul stage a lot. I think in total this probably took around 7,000 to 8,000 energy to max out on each one of these souls. I actually am not a huge fan of the way that they did this, because they made a separate stage for each soul level of every single type, right? So there's 5 different elements. There's red, yellow, purple, green, and blue. And then you have levels 1, 2, and 3 of each of them. So there is 15 types of souls, right? So because of that, there are 15 stages. They could have made it 5 stages where they just grouped all 3 levels of each color into the same stage. I think they should have done that, but for whatever reason they didn't do that, and so because of that you have to farm each level of each color individually, which is just very annoying and time consuming. Not sure why they did that, but it is what it is. You can even see in the description of the older souls, the rising souls, it literally says an unusable soul. And you can no longer obtain these souls from any place in the game, besides from the soul item packs, which are going to expire in a year, but we have time before that. But yeah, I pretty much have almost maxed out of every one of the rising souls, maxed out of all the super souls. I'm maxed out on, well, not maxed out on super souls, but the first 2 types, you can see the super soul 1 and super soul 2s of every color I have a lot more of, and the reason why is because those were the types of souls you needed to re-roll unique equips. So I just figured I'd prioritize those first. But yeah, these are all obsolete now. You can click on any one of these, it says an unusable soul. We can scroll down to the Zenkai souls. These are also unusable souls, but you can also just exchange these all for the new type of soul. But I don't know, I'm kind of just a hoarder here. I'm never going to run out of souls here. This is just, I have an unlimited supply essentially of souls, which is, I guess, just good to have there. Multi-Z power, we have tons of multi-Z power ready to go for the anniversary. Tons of LF multi-Z power in case we need that. We have some EXE power if they ever decide to release EX characters ever again. What else? Oops, I went too far back. Items. Item packs, I do have 5 of the Equipment Awakening item pack, and then I do also have 5 of the Soul item pack. Again, these Soul item packs you can see are going to expire in a year, so don't need to rush and use them, but just be aware that if you have any of these left over, they are going to expire in a year. So good to probably just grab all these and then just exchange these for the newer souls if you're in need of those. These I kind of just save because I don't like, the thing is with my account, like I don't really need any kind of resource. So when it comes to storage of different resources, you can see the fragment metals. I'm capped on fragment metals right now. So what I'm doing is I'm actually using my gift box, which I'll show in a little bit. I am using my gift box as almost a second storage for these items that I'm capped on. And the reason why I'm doing that is because once we head into the anniversary, we just don't know what kinds of things they're going to throw at us, right? They could add all of a sudden 3 new awakened equips. I don't know. I'm just, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's always possible when you head into the biggest celebration of the year that they could do anything. So I just want to make sure I have as many resources available to me as possible before I go into the anniversary. And a lot of that is just based around how much of these resources can you hold at once. Well, fragment exchange metals, you can only hold 200 at once. And anything over that amount is going to be sent to your gift box and stored in there for 30 days. So you kind of want to just be managing that. And this equipment awakening pack is another way I can kind of store additional fragment metals, right? I'm not going to accept this. As you can see, this will expire on, what is that? January 1st, 2030. So essentially it will never expire. So I'm just using this as another way to hold these resources. And then we have this, which is the campaign item pack for the current celebration. I don't need to accept this yet. Once I get another one, I'll accept this and probably make space for all this stuff. But again, just another way to hold stuff that I don't need to accept right now. All right, so if we go back to the item list here, we do have arts cores. These are resources that you need to arts boost characters. As you can see, the level 2 cores are the ones that are always going to be lower because there's 40 ranks in this as opposed to the other ones which only have 30 each individually. We have the level 2 ones, and then we also have the max ones. These ones they used to sell a lot in packs and like shop packs. They haven't done that recently. I expect during the anniversary they will start doing that again, but we will see. This is not going to be a bottleneck at all. The arts cores are not a bottleneck. The bottleneck for arts boosting is art seeds. I do have a decent amount of art seeds of each type. Again, I am very conservative with these because the only way you can obtain these still 2 years later after the mechanic was introduced is by seed metals. You can't actually obtain these directly in any other way. They have given us very rarely some exchange shops where you can exchange directly for art seeds, but besides like super rare instances, you can only get these via the seed metal exchange shop, and seed metals are pretty rare. So I'm not sure why they're continuing to be very, very stingy with giving us more ways to obtain these art seeds, because I am literally never going to run out of arts cores, but I am constantly running out of art seeds. So this is the real bottleneck for arts boosting. But I have enough resources here to cover me for about 2 colors of every type. I do have enough arts metals, which I'll show you in a second, to exchange for tons more. But training items really are kind of just a resource that doesn't really matter anymore in the game. I'm never going to end up using even 1% of these. So, I mean, it's just kind of for show at this point. Summon tickets. We do have quite a lot of Masters Pack tickets. Those are just tickets that you accumulate over the course of doing dailies for a long period of time. I don't think I'm ever really going to use these. Don't need any characters in any of those banners, but it's kind of just here. And the one way you actually can use these is for getting Legends ranking points. So if I ever need like an emergency way to get tons of Legends ranking points, I can just go ahead and start, using some of these Masters Pack tickets. But I don't think I'm going to need to do that. We also have the Masters Pack Z tickets. These are obtained from the Sparking Metal Exchange Shop. I've just kind of been buying Sparking Metals and choosing Sparking Metals as my login bonus. They kind of changed that. You can still choose them, but you have to go into the Exchange Shop. And because I haven't really needed the Z power from the Sparking Metal Shop, I just buy these because otherwise the Sparking Metal is just going to rot away in my gift box forever until they go away. Metals and exchange items. This is kind of the screen where we can see all of my different exchange items, how many I have of each. I guess we can start with Zenny. I've capped out on Zenny, and then I have capped out gold bars. And then I have capped out super gold bars. Zenny I would consider to be one of the bigger problems in the game right now. It just takes way too much Zenny, particularly when it comes to equipment rerolling to do that. It also takes a lot of Zenny to arts boost characters, but I don't really think that's as big of an issue as equipment rerolling. There have been times where I've spent 10 billion plus Zenny on one slot on one equipment. So it does get pretty bad, and I think they need to do something about the Zenny issue. I'm surprised they didn't address that at all during this update when they revamped the Soul system. Seems pretty clear to me that that would have been something that, at least if I was in charge or if I was on the team, I would have looked into. because there's clearly a huge issue with Zenny. It's not well managed. The numbers are way out of whack, and I think Zenny needs to be looked at very quickly. A lot of rare metals. We have a lot of the Z1 metals, the regular Z metals. These are kind of a legacy currency. You can't really get these too much anymore. These are something you could actually get from summon tickets. These are like metals you get from free summons, essentially is what they are. We also have a lot of the rush metals, 6 million of these. I am just going to continue hoarding and stacking these. They can stack up to 999 million. I'm never going to get that many of these, but this is once upon a time a currency that was super premium and hard to get. And it still is pretty hard to get because you can only get them from the Ultra Space Time Rush event. But with the addition of the slot 1 equip rerolling currency you can just buy from the shop, I've kind of been leveraging that to save more of these metals. Again, I always like to just hoard tons of currency because I always bring this up in every single one of these videos, but I will forever be emotionally traumatized from when they first released Ultra Namek Goku, and the only way to get his Z power maxed out was by buying his Z power and his souls with rare metals, and rare metals were not really something you could farm. So at any point they can do this, and they actually have done this recently with like the God Goku unique equipment and the Daima equipment. They've actually added those to the Rush shop, the Rush Metal shop, and you can only obtain those equipments with Rush Metals. So they actually have added exclusive stuff to that shop before, so I'm just being ultra conservative with that. Maxed out on sparking metals. Platinum coins kind of are just like a raid currency at this point. These are just never going to be good, I don't think, but I have a ton of those. 86,000 equipment metals. I kind of don't ever run out of those. It's just, you know, really the best way to get those is when they have Legends Fest. The gold plate shop gives you tons of those. Weekend metals, we talked about gold bars. We have the soul exchange metals, which could be pretty good with the new souls because you don't need to account for like super souls anymore. The greater weekend metals, we have the what is this? The Legends Pass tickets, the Prime tickets, which honestly this currency should get buffed. This is, at this point, this has been power crept into hell. The rewards you get for this are really bad. I talked about this already. The Z2 metals, I just have a perpetual amount of these forever, never gonna run out of those. These are Legends ranking metals, aka Legends medals. I have actually not used a single Legends medal in probably close to 1.5 or 2 years at this point. I got essentially 2 copies maxed out of the equipment that's in that shop. And then from that point forward, I haven't used a single Legends medal because I just, you know, again, they're going to eventually probably add something to that shop that we're going to need to buy, whether it's an equipment or whatever. And I'm just going to be saving for then. Here are the seed medals that I have, 838. So I can buy a ton of Art Space material. Again, just saving this for the anniversary, waiting to see what they drop. Talked about the super gold bars. Proud coins is a relatively new currency. I haven't actually done Proud in probably over a month now. Proud coins, yeah, this is, I like the idea. I think the actual system is pretty flawed though, because you actually get 0 Proud coins if the opponent decides to leave after you've won the first match. I don't like that at all because it lets the opponent dictate if you're going to be getting the Proud medals or not. You should, if you win even just 1 match, you should be getting a Proud medal. You can only get 2 at a time of these, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but this is a new currency which you can use to get like equipment medals, and I think there's arts cores in there as well and other resources, but you know, just an additional free thing you can get, which is fine. This is the new Legends Pass currency. It's like it takes the place of the login bonus where you got to choose what reward you wanted. I am probably just going to hoard these as well. Again, I am just, you can only hold 30 of these, right? So it's not like I can hoard these forever, but probably what I'll do is I'll hoard these until I get 30 of them, and then I'll probably end up spending 10 at a time, probably on the arts seed medals. But I think just having these available, you never know when they're going to add stuff to it. They probably won't because it's for a login bonus, but just to have it is nice. And then the other stuff is, these are summon coins down here. I don't even know if this is going to be used again. These are the full power battle ticket that you can use to get the free character Z power. This is the current adventure currency. Here are the Zenkai Rush medals. You can only hold, for whatever reason, you can only hold 99 Zenkai Rush medals, but you could hold 999 million of the normal Rush medals. I actually do have quite a bit of this. I have like over 100 of these in my gift box, which again, just in case they add something to the Ultra Space Time Rush shop for the anniversary, just want to be ready for that. These are the God Challenge coins. You could only hold 50 of these for whatever reason, but again, just hoarding these until they add something good to the shop because it's all pretty terrible right now. These are the, what is this? The PvP season medals. This is the current campaign medals. Dual coins I'm capped out on. Greater dual coins, I have a ton of these. Guild coins, and then we have the guild versus guild currency. And that is basically it besides fragments, which I don't even know why fragments has its own screen here, but I do have a ton of fragments at this point as well. Again, I've been leveraging tons of those slot 1 reroll items to just allow me to hoard rush medals and to hoard fragments for when I really am having like a terrible time rerolling something. So that's that. I don't know if there's really anything else we need to show in the exchange shop here. I mean, it's all pretty self-explanatory. I talked about the dual coins, talked about the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush stuff, the adventures, the God Rank shop. Here's the permanent tab. We have all this stuff I already showed here. Yeah, I don't think we need to actually show anything else, right? Yeah. So we can go ahead and take a look at my gift box now, and I think what we'll do is we'll wrap up with like my status page, and that will be good to go. If we go into that's wrong, that's news. Here's my gift box. So in my gift box right now, I have, let's see, if it takes a while to load this actually. I've found after the update, loading the gift box is actually slower. Not sure exactly why, because this was pretty instant before. So I have almost 300 items in my gift box here, 296. The way this works now is you can actually see more items at once with this update, which is pretty nice in the gift box. But if you scroll all the way down, those are the items that are going to be evaporating or getting destroyed first. I should do something about the items all the way at the bottom because they're going to expire. So we have 2 days left before I can accept this Super Legends Weekend or Greater Legends Weekend medal. Honestly, out of these 296 items, I would say most of them are probably slot removers. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but the main function that I use the gift box for is just to be able to hold more items. For example, slot removers, you can only hold 999 at once, but you know, I could use this gift box here to then hold more than that. I just have to make sure I don't let them expire after 30 days. Once you have an item go into your gift box, it expires after 30 days. So we are going to get the new Awaken equip. I think it's the Beerus equip on Wednesday from the Ultra Space Time Rush reset. So what I'll do is I'll farm some of those, and then I'll use enough slot movers to where I can then just get some of these out of here, and then I'll still have enough going into the anniversary start on Saturday. I imagine we're going to get a ton of new equips, but yeah, that's the main functionality of this gift box. We could take a look, scroll through here, and see what I have. Some Legends Weekend medals. We have, here's the Zenkai, the Greater Rush medals are in here. We have some Sparking medals in here as well. But that's really what it is. Dual coins. I think we are currently in a bonus season for co-op where you can get, I think it's extra, I think it's like 30 or something extra dual coins if you have the boost characters per win. So we have those. Yeah, so it's mainly just dual coins, slot remover, sparking medals, weekend medals, and then I think we actually might have some gold bars in here as well. Just always being able to have more Zenny is good. Here's even more Zenkai Rush medals. So we have a lot of those in here. Is there anything else worth noting about this? No, but yeah, that's the function. Oh, yeah, we have some Prime tickets, which really, again, the Prime tickets are really not good. I really think they should buff the Prime tickets. And then here's some fragment medals. We have some Z Power, which unfortunately, actually no, that's Z Power 5 days left, which will be in the anniversary by that point. So I actually will be able to use this Z Power before it gets deleted. Because we'll have the Part 1 banners out by the time that, I'm assuming we get an LF character in Part 1, which I think probably we will. I'll be able to use that on them, so that's good. But yeah, that's the gift box here. We have some energy as well, which I probably could accept. But yeah, every single time I go into my gift box or I have my gift box showing, everyone's like, oh, accept your gift box. Well, here's what happens when I accept my gift box. I clicked accept all. It gives me what I can accept, which right now is just energy. And then it tells me I can't accept anything else because I'm full on capacity. I can't hold any more of those items. So yeah, this is what it's used for. Just extra ways to hold items where I've reached the maximum hold limit for them. The last thing we'll take a look at, I guess, is just going to be the status here. I always like to show this to end these videos. We have an update for the favorite characters, so I just put all the freezes in here. What I'm trying to do, actually, is I'm trying to get a loading screen, because the way this works, if you guys aren't aware, is you can set your favorite characters here. You can set up to 10 characters, And what you can do is when you go into a different screen, so I'll just click on like events, for example, see this where the characters like sort of pan in, it is randomly generated. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get one screen where it shows all of Frieza's forms in a row. So first form, second form, third form, final form, full power, and then golden, I guess, right, would be, because there's 6 characters in total there from left to right. That's what I'm trying to do here. But it is very tough because in order to get that specific order, it's probably like 1 in a million almost to get that exact order. It's going to be very hard, but I'm just trying to, eventually it'll pop up, and I got to be ready with the screenshot button just in case. I guess the only thing I wanted to show here was the stats here at the bottom. Total days logged in, we have 2,543. I think my thumbnail might have a few fewer days than this because it was made a few days in advance, but yeah, we have that, and then we have 637 characters, highest battle rank achieved, of course, 70, highest rating points reached, 41.4. I don't remember. That must have been like a triple RP season or something like that. Maybe like a 3-week to double RP season or something. Total wins, 40,137, and we can kind of just compare that to last video. I don't remember what the number was, but if you guys want to take a look at that last one, and that's how many times I've won in between these videos. Good points, 6,804. I think when you look at the amount of total wins to the amount of good points I have, it's pretty low, actually. Like the ratio is pretty low. And then we have stories cleared. I just actually finished all the newly added stages. So we have 6,050 of those stories cleared. And that is pretty much going to be it for my account overview. I don't really think there's much else I need to show here. We are maxed out on energy. We are maxed out on CC. And we're ready for the 7th anniversary. So let me know down below what you guys think. Are you excited for the 7th anniversary? How is your account looking? Do you have resources farmed up? Let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.